Hey, what's up everybody? Adobe Masters here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple and clean thumbnail. And this thumbnail might be able to be used for like a YouTube video thumbnail, a Vimeo thumbnail, or maybe even like a website featured article thumbnail. It's a really simple and clean design, so it works best with simple and clean designed websites or videos or animations and stuff like that. So to get started, just create a new file over here in Photoshop, and the width and height I usually use is 1170 by 770. It comes out as a very nice size that really fits with a lot of those. If you want to use it a different size, just look that up and the same techniques can be applied. Change those right here and then click create. So once it is created, you'll just have a blank document here, and it's going to be a rectangle, a long rectangle, which fits a lot of the thumbnail designs. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go into the rectangle tool right here. We're going to grab it. Actually, we're just going to click on here, and we're going to make it 1170 by 770. Click OK, and it's going to drop a rectangle in here, and we're choosing the dimensions that we started the document in. That way we don't have to try to drag it perfectly. It will just be perfect. Then we're going to go ahead and choose a black border for it, and then let's see. Bump up the border to, I like to go right around 10, so like 10.24, right around there. And then we are done with that. I'll cancel that. Go back to your move tool, and then click it and drag it into the frame, and it should lock onto all the edges like this. So now we have a nice black border here, and that helps separate it from any of the website content. If you have a black background for whatever reason, you might want to put a white border around it. You just need something so that the thumbnail is clearly represented within this box and you don't have a lot of like meshing with the background. For example, if you went with like a white color design and the website was white, it might look a little bit weird that your text is just floating in the air instead of inside of a box, inside of its own space. So now we have this rectangle here. We are going to go ahead and just undo this lock button on our background so that we have control over the layer. And then we're going to go into the paint bucket tool right here. If it's on the gradient or the 3D, just go and click the paint bucket. And then we are going to click on this color. And now this is where you really choose the color that you kind of want the background to be. I like the bright sort of airy colors. So for example, right around this range up here where it has a lot of color, but it's still very bright. So for example, I'm just going to go with this light mint green right here. So now that the bucket is colored with this, we just click on the background and it will make that in here. If you see, it didn't actually change the color, and that's because we forgot to do something here in the rectangle. What we forgot to do is, so click on the rectangle again and then go into the shape, the properties here. We need to make this alpha, which means it has no background to it. What we had it on was white, which means it was a rectangle, which is as big as our composition with a white background, so it would have never have changed. So we're going to just go ahead and make this, make it alpha so that the background right here shows through. Then we're going to take the background and we're going to go into the selection tool up here, the elliptical marquee, and then find an area right around center. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're feathering it, so it'll look pretty similar as long as you get pretty close to the center. So we're going to click here, then we're going to use Shift, and then we're going to also hold Alt. And that's going to make it expand from the point that we clicked on and then a uniform circle from that point. So we're going to expand it to maybe right about there. And then we're going to go into Select, Modify, and then Feather, or Shift F6 if that's how you want to do it. Click the feather, and then right around 60 to 80 pixels is what we're going to want to feather this. So I'm going to go 70 here. Click OK. And then now all we got to do is just, so what we need two things here. We need the selection to be open and us to be selected on the bottom layer. Then we're going to go up to brightness and contrast, and we're just going to drag the brightness up a little bit. And you can see it's a very subtle feature, but it gives a lot of character to it. It gives it a glow sort of to it, which makes it look really nice. If you'll notice, like really clean designs like Nintendo uses this sort of feature to add a little bit of character to their buttons while still maintaining the really clean feel to it. So once we have this, now we have our background, and now we can apply our text to it. So, or images or anything to it. The best images that work with this design are like sort of icon-y images, silhouetted, really simple, clean line design. So for example, we could say like how to, let's see, oops, delete that, to use Headphones, sure. So we can go with this simple sort of here, and I have it on white. You can jump it between black and white, or a different color if you think that looks great. If you think it looks fine with it. So we're gonna go black here. So yeah, that kind of looks, I like that design. And then we can actually, then we're going to go into File and Open, and then I have another little icon saved in my downloads, which is just this little image right here I got from the internet. So we're going to go ahead and drag that into here, which will be File. Instead of Open, we're going to go into Place Embedded, and then find the image and place it in the scene. Then scale it on down and drag it right beneath here. And we could, you know, add more to this. We could even add like a little background, so you could go online and find a cool pattern, put it in here, then click on it and lower its opacity so that the background has a little bit of texture to it. But I really like this simple design right here. And you can add more icons. You could do a lot with this. And so yeah, this is a really just simple and clean thumbnail that you could add, that you could make in like, you know, 2 or 3 minutes. If you have to make 100 of these things, you could just change the colors in the background, add just little different icons here and there, and you could actually get a lot of them. And just because you go with the same sort of format every single time, you'll have a style by the end of it. And then all you have to do to change that, to keep the style but change the thumbnail, is change the color, the words, and then the icons. And you can mass produce these things. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this simple little tutorial. Once you're done, just go ahead and click File, Export, Export As, and then export it however you want to. If it's going on the web, a JPEG would be the best thing to use, just because it works best. If you want to preserve maybe more of the lines, PNG might be a better option. But if it's going on the web, make sure that it's low kilobytes so that it'll be optimized really, really well. Thanks everyone for joining me for this simple tutorial. If you want to see more Adobe related tutorials on all the Adobe programs, with a focus on, I guess, on video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, guys, see ya.